I don't think 100 basis points is going to happen, honestly. I probably another 75. But in the grand scheme of things, what does it really matter anyway? What are they trying to do? They're selling people an epic lie. I think it's the biggest lie or deceptive management policy regarding inflation in the history of the freaking world here. They're trying to convince people, it's insane to me. They're trying to convince people that by nudging the federal funds rate, incrementally, it's really going to help inflation. We're going to be fantastic. It's going to be great for everybody. How about no? All this is doing is guaranteeing inflation is continue to surge higher. They know it, and I think anyone with a functioning brain cell, just one, realizes that's the same story here. But it's not going to change here. The current environment is so twisted and so upside down. It's very difficult to make heads or tails of what's going on. But what we do realize, I think we should all know, is central banks are not done. They're going to continue to inflate. They're going out of their way to create more inflation. They're strangling to death an entire class of people. Have been pushing this narrative now for I don't know how many years, and it's in our face. It's going on right now. It's going to get worse, and people need to prepare for a worst case scenario. The global economy is in free fall, and the action of central banks proves it. Look at what they're doing. The European Central Bank now with unlimited bond buying. You got the Federal Reserve with some kind of backdoor program here to buy all the debt, and that's what their goal is, to own it all. That's the goal of central banks in aggregate, is to continue to buy assets with their own product that they just magically create out of thin air. So that's the scenario. That's where we stand right now. We have a managed market. We have central banks in here trying to control the yield curve, continuing to inflate global debt on an unprecedented scale here. And then you have the propaganda ministry, the mainstream media, playing the game, reading their scripts out here, trying to convince people that what they're seeing with their own eyes isn't real.
So let's just hone in on the inflation talk. Is it a hoax for you? Is it real? What are your thoughts really on, inflation over 9%? Is it because we've just manifested it because we've been talking about it for so long? Oh, the inflation's so bad. Oh, prices are so high. I mean, what's your take on inflation specifically?
Well, this is a no-brainer here. We've had central banks here for now well over a decade doing nothing but inflate, creating cash out of thin air, buying assets with it. It was only a matter of time here before all of this money creation was going to present the current issues that we have. It's economics 101. It's all of these extra bills existing in either digital or physical form here, finally chasing the same amount of goods. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out. And their own numbers are just all nonsense anyway. I think everyone realizes that, the data is all fake. It's interesting. We just recently found out, this is laughable. They're saying, what was this, last week? I think it was reported that food inflation year over year is just up 10.4%. How many people are paying just 10.4% more for their food? I think it's more like, it's over 50, maybe in some cases 100% more.
Absolutely.
So it's just more the deception, more the distraction, but this just is so simple to understand. The goal here of central banks is to foster in a new system, period, the end. And how they're doing this is by strangling people to death via surging inflation. That's why they continue to go out of their way to create more of it. And what's going to happen? At one point, people are going to say, I've had enough. What did we also find out recently? 75% of middle income, by their own data, 75% of middle income earners here in the United States, they can't make it anymore. And you got a stock market that has been rallying recently off the continuing bad economic news. It's astonishing to see. Nothing makes sense. If you really sit back and understand what's happening, then it will make sense to you. The system is designed seriously to destroy an entire class of people, create more inflation, push wealth up to the 1%ers, and then a new system is going to be instituted.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What's the end game? Like, why would they want to strangle an entire class of people? What do they want to get to?
Control. It's all about control. They're trying to make people dependent on the system. More people that become dependent on the system makes the system stronger. So what they're doing here, and I've outlined this, I don't know, for several years, is trying to get previous members of the middle class and force them to the lower rung of society here.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race. You're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dan, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dan.